with James from Finger 11. So how are you enjoying your day at Rock on the Range?
So far, very good. You know, when you play in the sunlight, there's a certain challenge right off the bat of trying to set a vibe. And we're the first band on the big stage, so it's a cold start. In the daylight, there's no rock and roll mystery. It's just the sunlight.
Yeah.
But I think we had a killer show, man. I had a good time, and then it was over in a flash. So far, all I have to do now is just celebrate and have a good time and enjoy the sun.
That's good. So I'm asking a lot of artists what their favorite summer festival memory is. Do you have one you could share?
Okay, so there was a festival that we're from Canada. So there was a festival that went across Canada called Summer Song. And it was Foo Fighters, Smashing Pumpkins, Perfect Circle, and we were on this bill as well. So this was like just a phenomenal bill. And we had one night in Winnipeg where we got drunk with Maynard James Keenan from Tool and Troy, who was playing guitar with them. I think he's with Queens of the Stone Age now. But he was in a band called Failure. And it just was one of those nights, drinking whiskey out of the bottle, arm over Maynard James Keenan's shoulder, sitting on a curb. That I have to give that the summer festival moment of the day.
So what are some of your tips for festival survival?
I guess the first thing would be the pacing, because when Lollapalooza and stuff like that would come to town, we'd go the night before, party till the sun came up, and then when the show was going on, you're halfway through the day, you're so hungover and exhausted. Yeah. So there was one year, Smashing Pumpkins and Beastie Boys were headlining, and I was just so hungover. These were two of my favorite bands. I sat in the back on the grass, just wiped out. So my lesson to impart would be pacing, because beer is great and sunlight is great, but combined it's very stamina interfering, let's say.
So can we talk?
Other than that, no rules. Just go apeshit.
So can we talk about the band a little bit? I mean, yeah. I know the new single is popping up everywhere now. So
yeah, well, we made a record called Life Turns Electric. It came out in October last year, and we've just been on the road since. But this is our rock and roll electric guitar record. Like, we've always been an electric guitar band, but we've always had elements of. One record we had a little bit of progressive stuff or metal or whatever, and this one is just rock and roll.
Okay. So do you guys like to change it up at all?
Yeah,
or?
Definitely. I think that's the only thing that I guess the only reason to keep going is to evolving and be doing something new. If we feel like we're on a treadmill, then I think we'll just kind of give it up. And the albums that we love, from the bands that we love, were always showed diversity and growth. So yeah, that's we hold ourselves to a mantra of like trying to let's grow, let's evolve, and let's not look back.
So what are you currently listening to these days?
Recently I've been listening to the new Fleet Foxes record. I really like the Decemberists. I really like. It's like, kind of a folkier, mellow strip that I'm going through here. Those are the two big ones at this point. It varies though. Sometimes some nice big heavy rock record will come out, and then that'll floor you for a while.
So you guys have been at this for quite a while, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of changes within the industry and the way things are done. How's that having an effect?
I mean, enormously. It's basically the industry is upside down right now. So it's been neat to be privileged enough to be around it long enough to see such a big change. But it's scary as well, because it's the Wild West. It's like nobody knows. Everyone's looking at everyone else for an answer of what to do. But part of me, in a very romantic sense, thinks that the 80s and the 90s was never music is such a satisfying thing that maybe it should never have been making so much money and such a bloated, excessive industry. Maybe it was never meant to be that way. Maybe it's settling back to where it's
Some people like to say it should be free, and but artists have to make a living at the same time, and it's so difficult.
You know what, the one thing people don't think about is that the people who pay for the studio, the labels that put the money in the band's hands to make these records and experiment. And so you don't have these bands that are like, they work at Home Depot for 12 hours a day and then they're trying to squeeze in making a record. They're just obsessed with making music and that's it. So that's how you make great music, but someone has to pay for those slackers to sit around and smoke weed and write songs all day, you know? And it's those guys that are not getting, like when everyone takes the albums for free, it really is some bigwig, not an artist, but a bigwig somewhere that's losing out. But ultimately, when he on his piece of paper says, oh, this band does nothing but cost me money and I never get anything back from it, I'm going to drop them, they have to go get jobs. So that's what happens, is you're going to end up with some great promising artists that their opportunity got cut short. Because ultimately, music should be out there and it should be the experience. You don't want to charge someone for it, but unfortunately we live in a real capitalist world.
Of course. So if you weren't pursuing music, what do you think you'd be doing instead?
I think I wanted to make TV commercials.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for a long time. Like the Clio Awards, where they're like European award-winning commercials and they're really funny and they're almost like short films. From a young age, I was obsessed with that. Like I hate North American commercials, but I think Europe they're onto something. And so
they can take risks over there. We can't do it.
And I think that in this growing culture of ADD, I feel like maybe making a short film that's 30 seconds long is like, that's awesome. Get right to the point. So, I don't know, yeah, maybe making commercials.
So have you ever done anything with film before?
Just like homemade stuff. I worked on an independent movie with a friend of mine.
Okay.
He wrote the movie and he acted in it and I filmed it. And then we worked on a couple short films here and there. But nothing like with a substantial budget or anything. I'm working on a short film script right now. So maybe in the future.
Awesome. So what are the immediate plans for the band right after Rock on the Range here?
It's just more summer touring, summer festivals. And yeah, that's it. Like just playing rock and roll in front of as many people as we can until the end of the year, I think. And then we'll start thinking about making a new record and do it all again.
Are you a band that can rag on the road? Some have to like take a break.
No, like as a band, what makes us Finger 11 versus we're not 5 individuals, we're Finger 11, and that doesn't work on the road as far as writing. We can all pick up guitars and write songs, but whatever it is that we define as our band, we don't have the space and the time to do it on the road. So we just concentrate, and really, you want to save every ounce of energy you have when you get up on stage.
Of course. So I like to look at music as a universal language that we can all understand, and everyone takes different messages. Is there anything you hope your music says to listeners?
No, but I think it hopefully has that feeling of connection. Whatever it says, I think that's what's the beauty of music, is it gives you, it touches you inside, but it doesn't tell you what to think.
Right.
It's interpretive. But I think, yeah, like if you went to a jungle and someone had never heard English or even seen a white man, you can communicate through music.
Exactly.
And that is, I mean, that's a miraculous thing. It's very crazy.
It's also,
it's like the Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah.
Like, they show up from outer space and they go, wah, 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 and we all understand.
Now we're seeing too about it being non-judgmental, and we see these festivals incorporating all kinds of different genres together. I think it's great.
Yeah, I think there was a moment in the 90s that was very much like that, where music was really important to everyone, but you had these festivals that there was one of each. It wasn't like, I never liked that, going to a concert and seeing 3 of the same things or 6 of the same things. By the end of the day, you're like, oh, I get it. I get what that sounds like. And when you had these was like, you know, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, and Rage Against the Machine, and the Breeders, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's like, that's what you want from music. And I think sometimes when something gets so financially based, people start to narrow the roads, and like, if this band made a lot of money, then let's find a bunch of bands that sound like this because they'll make a lot of money. And maybe with this bursting of the bubble of the industry, people will start looking for unique.
Oh, of course. I think you just
follow the same.
I think you just touched on like the whole issue too. Is like so much cookie cutter stuff is coming out, and everyone's kind of searching for just that unique sound, that's a little bit different.
Which it's funny that an industry that's based on that can sometimes feels like it forgets that, and it's like they're looking for the next big thing in terms of the bottom line and dollars, as opposed to the next big thing, which is the sound that revolutionizes the world. Who knows what that is? Hopefully, if the money falls out of the bottom of it, then all you have left is a feeling.
Okay.
That's when something good gets made.
So, as a just for fun question, what's the strangest rumor that you've heard about the band?
One time, there was a news release on the radio that our bus had rolled and our singer had died. So that was kind of strange. Especially to see Scott read the email.
Yeah, well, I'm sitting right here. Yeah, what, really?
Yeah, that was very strange. And we were out of the country, right? So it's funny when you're from a foreign land, news like that it might as well be true. You're not there to confirm otherwise. It's very strange.
It's great. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time out to speak with me. I appreciate it. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
I've labbed on long enough, I think.
Great. Thank you.